Welcome in. Oh my god, today I have been looking forward to for so long. I've never done a video like this before. I'm very excited. We are teaming up today with Miss Melody Collis. So if you don't know Melody, she is I believe, Australian. I'm gonna double check that, but is it? Or are you in the UK? I'm gonna double check. We're gonna fact check and come back. But she is also a little book girly, just like me. So we decided to give each other books. Definitely gonna take me longer than a week because we gave each other like 4-ish books to pick from. Gonna read at least 3 of them. We're gonna shoot for 4.
No.
Despicable behavior, slut.
No.
First of all, ew.
Ew. Ew, ew, ew. Why is he doing that? Oh my god, ew.
Ick. Ew. Ew, of course.
Ew, why are we like kissing him?
Why are you running at your place of work? That was gross. I don't know how long. I have no idea. The only thing we went off of was our Goodreads, like, want to read. So I have no idea what she's picking. I have no idea how long these books are. If you want to see the amount of pages I gave her to read. These are the 4 books I gave her. Before I play her clip for us to learn, I still don't know what it is, so we're gonna watch it together. I will show you what I picked for her though, if you want to go check out her video as well. First, I gave, obviously, Binding 13. That was not an option. I saw she hadn't read it yet. It was the first thing I clocked. Immediate. And then Pucking Around, which I told her she had to read that one night first and then Pucking Around, so there's a lot going on so far. And then I gave the Mindfuck series, but since it's 5 books, I said she doesn't have to read the whole thing, like just the first one, and then I'd be okay if she stopped after that. And then I technically said, because she hasn't read the Windy City series yet, and I wanted her to read that, but since the first one's the worst one, I gave her Mile High, but if she didn't want to read it, I said she could read Haunting Adeline instead. So this was her 4th and 5th option. Those will be fun. I'm so excited. I love making people read books. Like, my favorite books. Love it. Now, if she hates these books, I will probably throw myself out of this window. So that's that. Okay, I finally have Melody's picks for me, and I am so tired. It is 10:30 and I was just at my brother's house watching the newest Traders episode. So I'm exhausted and I fucking hate Danielle. She's like ruining the show for me, honestly. We're gonna see. I literally can't wait any longer, or I'm just gonna watch it on my own time, but I want to see what Danielle picked for me. We are gonna see what I'm gonna be reading for the next however long it takes me. I'm nervous. I'm so nervous.
The way I am so incredibly nervous right now, I actually just need to compose myself. Anyway, hi Kendall. So I'm going to be sharing with you the 4 books I would love for you to read. Obviously you only have to pick 3, but I've given you 4, so you've got a bit of choice. Also, I loved every single one of these books, but for completely different reasons, and one of these books I am dying to see you read. Like, I would give my left kidney, I honestly swear. Like, I need to hear your thoughts and opinions. I need to see a vlog of this book, so if you don't pick it for this video, please do it for another video, because I just have to see it. Anyway, we're going to start off easy. The first book I would love for you to read is The Inmate by Frida McFadden.
Okay, love Frida. Love Frida. So I'm excited to read that one. And it'll be easy. I did not give you... I fear I did not give you as easy reads.
I absolutely love Frida McFadden. I know that you enjoy her books as well, and I think this is one of those books that you haven't quite got to yet, but this book, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I mean, granted, 9 times out of 10, every single Frida McFadden book I absolutely devour. This was a 5-star read for me, and I'm not going to tell you anything about the book. I would love for you to go into it blind and just enjoy. It is so, so good. And again, you've got that kind of plot twisty vibe, so that is book 1. Okay, so the second book I have picked is Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. I know what you're probably thinking, like, this is a 600-page romance.
Oh, girl. Oh, girl. I did it to you too, so it's okay. No, I've had that for so long. I have had that. See, I have all 3 of them too. And I've always wanted to read a Lucy Score book. I just never got around to it, so now's the time.
But it is so good. This whole trilogy is such a good, cozy but spicy, like, small town, the found family. Like, it has everything. And I absolutely loved this series. And the first book is so good. I need you to read it. I need to see your reactions, your thoughts and opinions, and I just had to put a little bit of a chunkier one in there. And also I feel like this one was one of those books that was so popular a while ago, like, you need to read it. So that is book 2 that I have decided to go for, and again, it was a 5-star read for me. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, book 3 is definitely more of like a really random rogue pick. However, when I read this book, I thought instantly it was going to be a 5-star read, and then after I finished it, I was kind of thinking, like, what the fuck have I just read? like absolutely chaotic. I even think about it to this day about how bizarre and how weird this story was, and I feel like I need you to read it because, again, it's one of those things where I would just love to see your reactions, but also I just don't stop thinking about this book. And also I think, is it going to be a series? I have no idea, but I absolutely love this book, and I think it's one of those ones that it's so weird that it was good, if that makes sense. And that is Never by Jessa Hastings. This book came out, I think last year it was, possibly, and I read it when it came out. Absolutely loved it.
Okay, I have it. She's sitting back there, and she's been sat back there. And I got it for $1 at Birdhouse Books, mostly because, like, I've heard all the weird things about it, and that it can be, like, kind of questionable, but excited. Very excited.
But again, so weird. Like, such a weird take on the Peter Pan story that I just need to see a reaction. So that is book 3 that I've gone for. Okay, and last but definitely not least, I mainly picked this book because not only do I have to see you read this book, I know full well that your subscribers are gonna love to see you read this book because of how just like insane this book is, and it's just gonna be so funny, and that is Credence by Penelope Douglas. I'm laughing even thinking about it because, like, this book, it's a wild ride, let me tell you. Like,
I have been putting that book off for so long, but, like, I'm so down. I'm so down.
It's a wild ride, let me tell you. Like, it is the most
I love shit
bizarre
like that.
situation. All you need to remember is that it is a step uncle and step...
Babe, you don't have to tell me nothing. You could tell me it was 2 brothers. I wouldn't mind. You could tell me it was uncle and son. Don't... Well, okay, that might be a little far, but uncle and stepson with 2 brothers. I don't care. It doesn't bother me.
But cousin situation, okay? They're not blood related. Let me just put that out there. When I read this, I can just remember reading it thinking, like, what the hell is happening? And I just need to see you read it. So that is my 4th and final pick. That is the one that I would love for you to read the most, but obviously pick 3, any 3. I cannot wait to see all your thoughts and opinions on all the books, and I'm just really happy to be collaborating with you. So that is all my picks, and I cannot wait to see what you pick. Shall I say pick one more time? Anyway. Enjoy.
Oh my god, you're so cute. I'm obsessed with you. No, this is gonna be so fun. Cause like completely different than the ones I picked. Let me get them. I don't have the Inmate, so that's on my Kindle, but here's her stack versus my stack. She was a little nicer than me, but I don't know. These are pretty big books. These are pretty big. Mine are just a little bigger. Sorry. But I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. Like at all. But very excited. We will start these soon. I have to finish redeeming 6. I have 100 pages left, and then we'll start. Okay, I started with the Inmate. I knew that one would be the quickest and easiest and like a one-day, one-sitting type of read. So I started it last week. Immediately, like any Frida book, was hooked. You know, not like hooked to the point where I couldn't put it down, but like I was intrigued from the very beginning. I'm literally out of breath. I came up the stairs and I'm out of breath. Hold on. I also think I'm sick. Or it's just allergies. I don't know. Anyway, so it follows this woman. This woman gets a job as a nurse practitioner in a men's prison. And she knows that one of the people in the prison is the father to her child, her 10-year-old child. And he doesn't know that. The whole story, it goes back and forth between now with her at her job and back in time 11 years ago to this awful thing that happened. The awful thing that happened was like, it was her boyfriend at the time, the father. They go to a like cabin something where her friend and her boyfriend, and then this other boy who is like best friends and neighbors with our main girl, and then some other random chick. And basically like half of them end up dead in the middle of the night, and the father ends up being the killer that we like think is the killer, even though it's like Frida's trying to make it seem like he's not the killer, like very obviously trying to make him like look like the good guy, and that they got the wrong guy, and trying to frame it to look like it's Tim, the neighbor who's in love with our main character. So the whole time, knowing in classic Frida fashion, I'm like, well, it's obviously not gonna be who you think it is. And whoever I think it is, it's gonna be someone else. Like, it's just, I'm probably not gonna guess it right, because Frida typically will like go this whole book letting you think you figured out the plot twist, and then she changes it like in the last page, last chapter. I'm trying to like spin the book, not trying to figure it out, but like, you know, it's hard hard to not be constantly thinking like, well, it's probably not him, because that's who she wants me to think it is. I have like 50 pages left. I'm liking it. I'm like curious to see what she's gonna do, because if she were to end the book with how it's going, I would probably give it like a 2.5, 3 star. It's just like feels too obvious, you know? I'm waiting to see what outlandish thing she's gonna do. I can hear myself and I sound like gross. I sound sick. Anyways, I wanted to talk about my thoughts. Since I didn't really read most of it on camera, I was gonna talk about my thoughts as I was reading it, because I wrote them all down. So if you have not read The Inmate or do not want to be spoiled, you can skip to this time. If you're not gonna read this, then we can chat. Right from the very beginning, Tim gave me the ick, like immediately. Obviously he's in love with her, yes. So when we first see Tim as an adult and he ran across the yard, that was the first thing. She said, Tim ran across the schoolyard to see me. Ew, why are you running? Why are you running at your place of work? That was gross. And then when she's taking care of Shane in present day, she's taking care of him and he's shackled. And he was like, sorry, I'm so slow. I'm just a crippled man in shackles. Like, please, bye. That's so manipulating. He was like playing the victim. I don't even care if you are the victim. Like, why are you acting like that? Like, he's so manipulative. No part of me trusts him, like, at all. Why does no one else trust him? But she's like, no, he actually is kind. Like, babe, everyone's saying he sucks for a reason. So, like, let's maybe trust everyone else. We're just going over the fact that he beat the fuck out of that guy. I don't care how old he is. You still don't beat the fuck out of someone, like, to the point of going to the hospital and, like, you're a changed man. No. As I said, it's just like giving way too obviously that it's gonna end up being Tim, so that can't be the whole story. Either he's being set up and framed completely, or he worked with Shane. So like Shane and him are like in on it. Because the whole like snowflake necklace thing, that's weird. Like how do I explain that away? If he's completely innocent, I can't explain that away. And like the dead body in his basement, that's what happened. Like, what do you mean? Yeah, don't trust Shane at all. Her parents not wanting her to return like that badly was sketch. Like, you would think she'd be like, something weird's going on here. Her parents' death, no way was an accident. I don't believe that they just got into a car accident. The aftershave thing, also with Tim, that was weird. Like, it being a gift. That was weird. I was fully gagged. I gasped at the fact that Marcus Hunt in the prison, he was the kid that got sent to the hospital. That gagged me. Ew. Also, I hate this main girl. I do. I really cannot fucking stand her. As a mother, her telling Tim she loved him because it would hurt him too much. Ew. Ew. Ick. Ew. Okay, the waitress going missing, please. Like, who's trying to set him up? Because that's so obvious. That's so blatantly obvious that it would be Tim, that he's not that stupid. So who's trying to set him up? And then this is when I came to the realization, I think Shane and Tim, like, were working together. Which I thought that at the very beginning, because Shane and Tim were, like, whispering 11 years ago in the house. And our main girl was like, that was weird. Y'all don't even like each other. Why are you whispering? So, like, clearly something's happening. And I'm just so creeped out by her having sex with Shane. Are we being so fucking for real? You lasted 6 hours and had sex with him? He has been in prison for 10 years. You do not know that man. I don't care if he's the father to your child. You do not know that man. And you thought he murdered people for a while. Like, that's crazy behavior. That's why I just don't like her. Like, she's almost despicable. With your son next in the room by you? Are you fucking for real? You don't even know the whole story and you just found out like a couple of days ago, or I guess it was like 2 months, that what you thought was completely flipped and you were wrong. So clearly you don't know the whole story. You probably still aren't like 100% confident in your decision, and you're gonna have sex with the man next door to your kid? Despicable behavior, slut. Jesus. So now I'm going to read the last like 50 pages and we'll see how I'm feeling. Because right now it's like a 3 just because I can't stand her this much. 4 other thrillers that I've really loved. The plot doesn't have to be like, okay, I don't know how to explain this well. And I'm like, half my hearing is like gone and it's like clogged right now. So I'm like hearing myself in echoes. I don't know if I love a book plot where she spent all this time trying to like make the answer blatantly obvious just to really blow our minds at the end with something outlandish. I don't know if I'm explaining this correctly at all, but that's what Frida does, and this one feels like extra dramatic. Because there are other ones I don't mind it. The whole time I'm like, okay, maybe it's this. But here we're setting up the end of the book where, okay, well, it's obviously Tim. It's obviously this. So I'm just like, clearly it's not. It's like I'm reading this whole story being like, well, it's not gonna be this. So what? Like, I'm waiting for the last shoe to drop. I'm just like, so hello, tell me. But we'll see. Maybe she'll change my mind when we get to the end. I don't know.
She said, I didn't quite mean for it to go all the way, but I could tell it was what he wanted very badly, and I couldn't bring myself to say no. Girl, get the fuck up. Not only does it, any regular man would make it known that he wants it very badly, he's been in prison for 10 years. Please. She said, you can't say no to giving a glass of water to a guy who's been lost in the desert for 10 years. Yeah, I can. Anyone can. Shut the fuck up. Oh my god. She said, afterwards, I felt strangely empty. I wonder why. Wonder why. That's an enigma. Her bar is so fucking low, it's disgusting. Also, the second he just asked her to go out to the farmhouse that he's inherited now, where all of this happened. And she was like, I don't really feel comfortable doing that. And he said, really? It was 11 years ago. I'm sorry. I didn't realize you were almost choked to death. I was just like, I'm not dealing with this. Get out. I don't give a fuck. Get out. She's literally insufferable. Shane's like giddy to be back in his house where all these people died. Maybe red flag. Oh no, but you brought your kid along. So like, yeah, that seems like a good idea. Bro, no. I hope he kills the fuck out of her. He just said to the kid, you want to see inside? And of course the kid's like, sure. She says, I opened my mouth to protest, but Shane and Josh are already climbing out of the car. I'm so angry at Shane right now, I want to scream. That's your fucking kid. And you were just, I'm like, Melody. If your goal is to piss me off, it's working. Because if this was not for this video, I'd probably stop reading. Or I would play the rest on audiobook while I'm like doing mindless things. But this is ridiculous. I don't think I've ever read about a character I cannot stand more than her. Like, she's fucking idiot. She just is. She's a nurse and a mother, and you're this much of a fucking idiot? No, I cannot stand it. I really hope Shane takes a knife to her freaking throat. You know what? I think the only thing that would make this better is if she ends up being the murderer and she's been like playing them this whole time. I hope so. I hope she is the mastermind and she's playing dumb. That would eat. I would need to rethink the whole story to make sure that lines up. That is the only fucking thing that I will allow. But now it's like, now that I've thought that, it's not going to be shocking to me if that's what she writes. So that's why I hate fucking reading these books knowing that she's going to try and pull the weirdest twist, because now that I've tried to think up the weirdest twists that she could write, I've ruined it for myself. So, and it won't be shocking to me, and I'll just be like, ha, I knew it, because I'm trying to think of the weirdest thing, you know? She's letting her 10-year-old son go on a walk alone with a man who's been in prison for 10 years. I don't give a fuck. No mother would do that unless she's a fucking killer and she knows she can trust him because she's the dirty dog. But no one would fucking do that. That's just ridiculous. She said, if I can't trust him when I invited him to be back in my life, I have bigger problems than the two of them taking a walk together. Yeah, you'll have bigger problems if your fucking son is dead. Hello? Melody. I'm getting mad at you. It will be fine. Shane is Josh's father. He won't let anything happen to him. Because that's all that matters. Fathers never do anything bad to their sons. Ever. Oh my god. I have so many thoughts. Spoiler-free thoughts. I can't get past how much I hated the main character. So for that, it's gonna be, I want to say a 2.5. I hate to do it. I'm so sorry, Melody. I'm so sorry. But I can't lie just because. I like don't even want to say the end gagged me because I don't believe it. So I'm just like, no. Maybe if the circumstances had been slightly different, it would have been more believable. But it's so unbelievable that like that, it just pissed me off. But now for the spoilers, so I can talk about it more. You can skip here if you don't want to hear. Margie being the mom, Shane's mom, that's believable, I guess, if she was a crazy woman and wanted her grandson. But like it gives me the ick that Shane like was a murderer with his mommy in high school. Ew, gross. You and your mommy killed people? Gross. He was 10. You mean to tell me he killed a grown man with an icicle at 10? No. Just no. If he had been like 15, I would have believed it more. But 10? I don't even care if he's like such a great athlete and a great baseball player. Bye. Don't care. That just was almost comical at the end. Also, like, you can't make Tim look that bad and have me root for him at the end. Like, I'm icked out by Tim now. He's done. He's gone. So it's just like I didn't really like anyone at all. Like, the whole time I didn't like a single person. So for that, it's a 2.5. Sorry, Melody. But now my next options are Things We Never Got Over, Credence, or Never. I want to see the page count actually, because these are all kind of big books. This one is the 550 range. Credence is, okay, like 470. And then Never, okay, is less than 400. So I'm thinking, I don't know if this is on Kindle Unlimited. I know Credence is. So I'm going to start Credence on my phone or like Kindle. And then maybe I'll start Never in the physical book. I'm more intrigued with Never than I am these two because all I know is that this is smutty. So like, I'm going to eat it up. I don't even care what the plot is. I'm going to eat it up. I think she like has sex with her step uncle and step cousin. Gonna eat it up. And then this one I'm just like nervous about because it's a small town romance. I'm pretty sure. I think he's grumpy. So I don't know, it's something where I could really like, or I could just like find it cringy and not be into it. So I don't know, I'm the most nervous for this one. But our first book is done. So Melody, I'm so sorry. I really am. I think that's my least favorite Freida McFadden book that I've read. And I've read a decent amount. Like Housemaid, loved. Ward D, really enjoyed. One by One, enjoyed. Never Lie, loved. The Teacher, loved. The Coworker, enjoyed. That one, hated. So I just like, I don't know what's different, but I think we're gonna start physically reading Never. I'm excited, nervous, excited, but we'll see. Couple things. One, I left my house today and there was a freaking tornado warning this morning and it was rainy. It wasn't cold, but like, you know, pretty chill. I just left my house, obviously, in my sweatshirt. I am almost in the depths of hell right now. Like, this actually has to come off right now. But anyways, I'm going to Starbucks because their new drinks came out and I need to try that cherry chai. Obviously, I started Never. I just got to the first chapter. Like, that's all I did was read okay. I'm overstimulated. Are you kidding me? As a squirrel. Get out of the freaking road. All I did was read the first chapter. Instantly, I'm like kind of hooked. Like, I knew it was a Peter Pan retelling, but I didn't know like how close or like how similar to the original like Peter Pan story. It's Peter Pan. He came to get Wendy's granddaughter. So like it's literally Peter Pan. The way he's like talking, I'm like, oh, why do I have butterflies? I would also go with that man. But literally just in chapter 1, I've already realized, I was like, oh no, so I'm gonna have to annotate this. I was like, so I'm gonna have to underline and highlight and tab. Hopefully this will be like a quick read because I'm already kind of sucked into it. and that's what I'm gonna go do at Starbucks right now, is read that. I also have to just like work on a thumbnail, and I brought my laptop in case I wanted to work on stuff, but that's the main goal. My hair right now, I'm not even kidding, I'm about to lose it. The main goal is to just read Never. But I just wanted to say that I was enjoying it from chapter 1, because I really had no idea what I was getting myself into. I just heard there was controversy on it. But so far, really, really loving. So far, the 18 whatever pages that I've read, really loving. But I will update once I've read a little more. Okay, I'm still only... I feel like the rattling in my car is louder than usual. You hear that? Yeah, my car's gonna die. I'm only, like, on chapter 4 or 5 still. Like, I'm pretty early in. And the only parts... The like, die-hard feminist in me is, like, wanting to be, like, anytime Peter talks, because... Let me get my thoughts together. At this point in the story, Daphne is our, like, Wendy, okay? She's the granddaughter, and she is in Neverland with Peter. So she is meeting all the lost boys, and Peter's like, don't look at her, she's mine. He's like, I've changed my mind, actually, she's mine. So no one even look at her, no one talk to her. And she's like, Peter... But she's also eating it up. She is eating him up. At the start of the book, she, like, said that she wasn't that kind of girl, and, like, doesn't fall over boys and stuff like that, and she's her own woman. She has fallen twice. She has fallen over 2 boys in one day, okay? Because Mr. Hook is also in this story. Mr. Hook's son is in this story, which I did not know. And I gasped when I saw Mr. Hook. He said, I'm Hook. I said, no way. We've got a hot character. And now, like, I see Hook, who's, like, a little older, more rugged. He's the pirate. He's got facial hair. He's, like, in his 20s. And then we go to Peter, who's supposed to be, like, 18, 19. So now I see Peter as, like, a little boy compared to Hook. Fully hoping Hook comes through with this and gets the dub. Peter is more in the brain of a 12-year-old. I get that vibe. And he's like, dibs, she's mine, she belongs to me. It's like, I want to be okay with it because Daphne's okay with it, and she's like getting butterflies. She's like, oh my god, why do I have butterflies right now? Like, I shouldn't, because he's like owning me. And a part of me's like, ew, why is he doing that? But then I just, like, I'm trying to, like, take myself out of, you know, like, I'm trying not to do that. I'm trying to actively not be like, gross, Peter, what are you doing? Because it's a story. It's a fake land where he is a child. So that's the only thing I'm trying to, like, separate myself from. But I'm gonna keep reading. I'm still enjoying it. Like, I'm fully enjoying it. That's just my only thing, is I have to, like, get past Peter. Okay, update on my book. I am in line at the role model concert, and I've been reading the entire time, like, when I haven't been, like, half asleep. Let me see what I'm on. 202. I'm, like, super into it, and I'm super intrigued, and, like, I can't put it down, but I'm so pissed the whole time. Like, I fucking hate Peter Pan. And I'll go into more detail when I'm not, like, sitting in my car at a concert, but I'm just, like, waiting for every single scene with Jameson. And I'm so upset that, like, they're fucking each other over. But I'm enjoying it a lot more than I was expecting to. In such a different way, because I was expecting to love Peter, and I fucking hate Peter. Every single scene he's in, I'm annoyed. I'm so pissed. It's because he's a child. He's literally a child. So it's like I can't even fault him because he's literally a child. But anyways, that's my update for now. I'm gonna keep reading for like a little bit. I don't know how much more I'm gonna end up reading because one's really cold outside, and every time I read I get really tired, so I don't know. Plus it's gonna just like start getting hectic once we get closer to the concert. But that's it for now. I'll see you later. I have so many thoughts. So many thoughts. This is me post, I don't know which video is going to come out first. I think the other one's coming out first, so it's fine. But this is me post role model concert. That's why I look really gross and scary. and I don't have any of my tripods or anything like that. I like can't stop thinking about this book. I don't know why. It's like I don't even love it because I hate Peter so much. Like I can't even say, sorry, Frank is growling in the back. I just realized. Hopefully it's not too loud. I can't even say it's like that I'm like swooning or kicking my feet because I'm not. I'm so like annoyed most of the time. But I don't want to put it down. So she's done something. She's wrote me in somehow. But I don't think I talked like much about like what's going on in the book. So if you don't know, obviously I told you it's a Peter Pan retelling if you don't already know that. So she's in Neverland and Peter treats her like she is his property. And he will like say that. Be like, you're mine. You belong to me. And she... Frank, he's a boy. He is literally a little boy in like the body of a 19-year-old. And it grosses me out. I'm like, why are we into him? Like, I get she's 17. She just turned 18, but she's 17. And she's in this like love triangle basically with Peter Pan and Hook. And Hook is like 22 and a man and not afraid to say his feelings and doesn't treat her like shit. I mean, like sometimes treats her like shit, but more of like the normal treat you like shit because he has, if I was Hook, I'd be fucking pissed too. I am fully on Hook's side. I'm gonna call him Jameson because it feels weird to call him Hook. I am fully on his side. They'll have like a moment and then she goes and is upset about Peter because he doesn't understand the concept of like feelings and people's emotions. He like doesn't get it. Like he makes out with any and everyone he finds because he's like, it's fun. Why not? Like he is literally a 13-year-old boy in a 19-year-old's body, and it like grosses me out. I'm like, ew, why are we like kissing him? He's literally like a little boy. Like I don't see the attraction because when you have Jameson, Jameson's a grown man and he's hot and he's so like smooth with it, but I'm gonna lose it. I guess there's like, she believes in like fate and thinks that she's fated with Peter. It's kind of detailed, but she believes that she's like meant to be with Peter because it's like been in her family line and everyone believes it and everyone keeps telling her that, and that she came all the way here and he like grew up in his body to be with her, but he's literally a child and like he doesn't even understand the concept of literal human emotion, and he calls her Wendy all the fucking time. Like he can't even remember her name. I just like every single time Peter's in the scene, she'll be like, oh my god, I'm so mad at him. I just caught him making out and feeling up this mermaid. The next line is like, but his eyes are just staring into my soul and I forget why I'm mad at him. I'm like, no. He literally like says the worst things to her. And then the next day he'll like wrap his arms around her and she's like, I forget. It's fine. I'm like, no, babe, no. So I understand why Hook is like, oh my god, ew. I understand why Jameson like does shitty things sometimes because I would be just as pissed because he really likes her. And obviously she likes him, but has this weird infatuation? I don't know, with Peter. I'm like, girl, just leave him be. Let him go do his own thing. And she hurts his feelings when she talks about other boys. And he's like, who's this other boy? I'll kill him. And then he's not kidding. He literally means it. He will go and kill him. I'm just like waiting for the final thing to hit where she's like, fuck you, Peter, I'm going to Jameson. Because Jameson literally at this point has said like, I'm not gonna be with you and try and be with you when you're still like weirdly obsessed with this boy child. And she's like, I'm not, I like you. And he's like, okay. He can see right through her and I'm glad. But something about it, I'm just like obsessed with it. I don't want to put it down ever. So I'm really, really enjoying it. And I hope to finish today. I cannot promise that. Oh, there's a page messed up. Can't promise it, but we'll see. We'll see where the day takes us. I plan to be asleep pretty early tonight because of what Logan and I are doing tomorrow. So I don't know how much reading we'll get done, but I have all day to read tomorrow too. We're going to be camping out for role model again tomorrow. So plenty of time to read and I will update as I go. I'll probably have like major spoiler at the end of like my feelings overall. Right now it's sitting at like a 4 is what I would say because I really, really love Jameson and the storyline. I just fucking hate Peter. Like he's literally insufferable. And she's pissing me off too. Like I just want her to stand up. But then I try to remind myself she's just an 18-year-old girl. If I put myself in her shoes at 18, I understand. I don't know how Jessa Hastings writes. I mean, she was an 18-year-old girl once too. So maybe she's just channeling her inner diva. I think it's just because I'm not at that stage of my life anymore. So I'm like, girl, stand up. But no, that was me. So I can't even say anything, honestly. I was the exact same fucking way. So maybe I need to take a deep breath and calm down that I'm yelling about this little teenage girl. But I'll check in later with updates. Bye. What the fuck? What the fuck? Oh my god. Literally, what the fuck? Oh my god, what is happening? Fuck. What? Literally, what's happening? I can't do this. I can't keep up. I'm gonna get emotional. No. What the literal fuck? Oh my god. That was awful. That was literally traumatic. I feel like I just went through trauma. That's crazy. Let me just start off by saying I think I'm gonna give it a 4.5, which is crazy. I just never thought that this would be a book that I would like. Like I literally only bought it because it was one singular dollar and it's by Jessa Hastings and that like it's talked about. That is the only reason I bought it, and I literally never planned on reading it. I was like, maybe one day, sure. But there's so many other books that I want to read before. And now, like, I'm not kidding when I say I'm gonna think about this book all the fucking time. Like, this is probably gonna be one of my top reads of the year. Whenever I do my top 25 reads in 2025, I guarantee this is gonna be one of them. Oh my god, that was just the emotions, the emotional damage that I have been through, that Daphne went through, and I can't even be mad at her because she's 18. She is just a little baby. She's just a little girl. Oh my god. And the trauma that she is going through. I mean, like, trauma's used loosely. I mean trauma more in like the just like emotional whiplash. Like, I wouldn't know what to fucking believe either. That's crazy. Oh my god, I can't believe that. There better be a second fucking book. I mean, like, there has to be a second book. Let me read the acknowledgements. Okay, so it's giving, she had this idea for 16 years. That's not giving, she actually said that. Like, since 2008, and it finally came to fruition in 2023. So who knows? The good thing is that this didn't just come out, you know, like I've been sitting on this book for a while, so it's been over a year since it's been out. So if she were to have another one, that typically happens in the next 2 years, like typically. So maybe I'll need to do some research, but oh my god, it's like that was so good, but I hated so much of it, but I loved it. Just the last 50 pages was emotional whiplash. That was crazy. Like, things that I would not have thought. Obviously, I was gagged. I remember reading out there and I had a thought and I was like, oh my god, that would be crazy if this happened. And that happened. But like, did it? I don't know. It's just so much better than I was expecting. And I love that she took the route of like Peter wasn't one and only love interest. Like we weren't rooting for Peter, you know, like I like that she changed it up. But I do want to talk about the ending, so this is going to be a spoiler part. I want to talk about the ending to the point where if you don't ever plan on reading this, I want you to listen on so I can tell you how it ended, because that was crazy. So you can skip here if you plan on reading this one day and don't want to be spoiled. Okay, I'm not kidding. Listen to this. We spend this whole book, at least me, fucking hating Peter. Like, the amount of hatred that grew for Peter is astronomical. Up until the end, when he shoves her against a wall after she catches him borderline almost having sex with Calla, and he shoves her against a wall and bandages her. First of all, ew. Second of all, crazy, literally assault. And then for us to just like, you know, have a happy ever after with Hook, and we profess our love, and the kid, like, there's no way that's fake. There's no part of me that can believe that Hook was being a liar. But anyway, if you don't know, if you're one of the ones that hasn't read this but wants to know the ending, Hook, they get together after Peter banishes her and spend like 2 weeks or whatever together, like all these cute things happening. It's just like, it's so romantic, and they're just like a cutie. I don't know, they're just perfect, and I love him so much. And then he like has to have a talk with his mom about his uncle, who's like this really terrible person. Like, he needs to be killed. His uncle's awful, and there's been like sightings of his uncle and like his ship around like the realm. So that's like what's happening. It's like it's a big talk. It's a big topic of conversation on Neverland, because they're like, we need to do something about this before he comes and like kills people. So he tells Daphne that like, if you ever see this ship, you need to fucking run. And like, he gave her a necklace that was really cute and like had her wear it and was like, never take it off, and didn't tell her why. I don't know why he couldn't just tell her fucking why if he meant it. But that's like, I'm getting ahead of myself. So then we go to like this fucking town meeting where he and Peter are there, and they fight over Daphne again, and they like challenge each other to a duel for Daphne. And so it's the day of the duel, it's the next day, and Jameson's not there because he left a note saying like, I've gone off to practice, which I was like, oh, he's gone off to practice to make sure he wins. But anyways, I just love him so much. And then she goes to town to like, they're packing their bags to like get out of Neverland and go spend time like on Earth to be away from all this for a little bit, so they can just be together. So she goes to town to like get stuff to get ready, and overhears him talking to someone and like eavesdrop, and she hears him talk about them having sex in like the worst fucking way. He's like, she was shite, and the guy was like, well, did you get anything from her? And he was like, yeah, I got her kiss, like, stupid bitch, and like just saying all these terrible things. And the guy, the gross old guy, just like talking about her in like a gross way and like wanting her, he was like, oh, you'd hate her, you know, like just like being very gross. Like, if I had heard that, instant tears. Like, I'm not kidding, I'd probably kill myself. So of course she's like running off and panicking and like literally about to die. So not only is Peter awful and banished her, so she can't go there, this just happened, which is like so much worse than Peter, because she loved him and thought that he loved her. And so then the first person she can find to bring her home is someone from his uncle's ship, and the uncle is here, and so he takes her to the uncle's ship. And so she's held like captive by this uncle. I don't, what's his name? Charles? Whatever, the collector is what they call him. And so he wants to kill her, like, for her innocence, basically. And she had, like, ripped off the necklace as soon as she overheard it, because she's betrayed or whatever. And the necklace had magic in it to, like, hide her from what the collector wants. Like, he wouldn't have been able to see her innocence, basically. So it's like, Jameson was helping her. But then she's, I'm still getting ahead of myself. So then, long story short, Peter fucking shows up and is like, unhand her. He literally hands on hips, unhand her, like coming to save her. But then in classic Peter fashion, like fucking forgets about her when she's like actively drowning because the ship is sinking. So who saves her at the last second? Fucking Jameson. Jameson saves her and like takes her back. And Jameson at this point doesn't know that she overheard them. So he's like, you're okay. Like I saved you, like actually like normal. And she's like freaking out. Is like, get away from me, and tells him that she overheard. And he's like, that was a fucking lie. Like I was lying. I was trying to protect you because he's a terrible man. And that's what the stone was. It was to protect you. And she's like, I don't believe you because of the shit that you just said. Like there's no fucking way you could say those things about me and not mean them. Like it was just like a knife in the heart because I'm like, yes, obviously he was trying to protect her. Like, yes. But like, I get where she's coming from. Like, that was awful. And like, she didn't know that at first. So she spent she spent probably like 30 minutes coming to terms with the fact, or no, all the way up until she thought she was dying, coming to terms with the fact that he doesn't love her and he turned on her and it was all just a game. So like, she's got this worked up in her head that it was all fake. And then she's supposed to just like flip it back on and be like, oh no, he does love me. It's okay. Like, oh my God, it was awful. But then he ruined it. He fucking ruined it. I'm like so upset by this. Like if he had just not said this, I would still fully be on his side. But as she's like freaking out, which as she should, she's 18, might I remind you, she's just a little girl. He goes, I should have let him have you and should have let you drown. Why did he have to do that? And so, of course, she's like gut punched and runs out and leaves. And he lets her. Just like, why did he have to say that? Because the man was like gonna rape her and kill her after because he wanted her innocence. He just basically said, I should have let him sexually assault you and kill you. Why would he say that? I get he's upset, and if he actually does love her and is frustrated that she doesn't believe him, there were different ways to go about that than what he did. So then she goes back to Peter's house. And this is where this part is like kind of traumatizing. Like I did not enjoy reading this part. She like out of anger and betrayal had sex with Peter, and Peter's just like gross about it and is just like a little boy and like only like doesn't give a fuck about her and thinks it's her first time and is like, this is your first time, right? And it's just like being, you know, like a little boy. And then she wants to immediately go to a place where you can like drop off memories, and he's like, oh, but I'm so comfortable, like ew, of course. And then she's like crying. Like she was crying like the whole time they were having sex, and like it's just so traumatizing. Do you mind? Frank's traumatized too, because I mean it's not like yes, it was consensual, sure, but like any fucking normal person with a brain would have realized that she was not okay and did not actually want to have sex. She was just doing it because she was so hurt by Jameson. And he doesn't see that, never happens. And then he goes, I'll bring you up there if we can do that again. And then she's just like, sure, fine. So like just all around traumatizing. Terrible fucking traumatizing. So she goes up there, drops all of her memories of Jameson off, and literally takes the most important memory and burns it in a fire, meaning she cannot get it back. If you go up and just like drop memories off, you can get them back, and like they're kind of still in your mind. They're just like fuzzy. She burned it. What is it? What did I say? Stand there and look stupid? I said burn it. That's what she said. She burned the fucking memory. And then looks up at Peter and was like, wait, what? I don't know what that is. And then said, I love you. And then that was the end. The I love you hurt. That hurt me because she doesn't say that to Peter, and she said it to him. I just cannot believe that. Like, I cannot believe the ending of that book. And if there isn't a second one in the works, I'm gonna be actually pissed. And it will make me want to take the rating down, because how do you end a book like that? I liked the ending, but do I wish they were fucking together? Yes. I just fucking hate Peter. I hate Peter, and I don't want them together. He's disgusting. I don't care if he loves her. Like, they found out officially he loves her. Like, they could see that in him. And like, I don't give a fuck. He's literally a 12-year-old. I don't care. He's awful. I just can't handle this anymore. Melody. That was a good pick, but how dare you? I was not ready for the emotional turmoil I was going to go through in this book. We have from the Inmate to that. Crazy. But 4.5 stars. Her writing is so beautiful too. It just is. But book number 2, done. Now I have to pick between Things We Never Got Over and Credence. But I remember, like, I think I said earlier in the video, I was going to read Credence on my phone because I didn't know if this was on Kindle Unlimited, but it was. So I ended up just reading only this. So I think I'm going to start Credence, since I think that'll be an easier read than Things We Never Got Over. Okay, so I had decided to start Credence. I had always been kind of worried about this book, and that, not in the sense of the smut, like, trust, the smut's not gonna bother me. I'm probably gonna eat it up. More in the sense that that I'm not going to be attracted to the men, only because when I think in my head of like cousins and uncle, I think gross. I don't know why. That's just like the initial thought is like a gross middle-aged beer belly uncle, you know? So I'm only on chapter 2 or 3. It has majorly helped like actually meeting these characters and realizing, no, they're hot as fuck. They're like 40 and like 21. I haven't met the third one yet, but no, they're hot. So it has helped me actually want to enjoy this book, because I went into it like with a beer belly uncle image in my head. So it has helped that it's not, obviously it's not like some creepy uncle. I will say, like, obviously I didn't know the plot at all other than uncle and step cousins. It's like step uncle. They're not related in any way, but her parents died. Her parents treated her like shit, like didn't want them, and apparently they're really famous. I still don't really know who they were yet, or if we ever find out. And they're really rich too, and they just never paid her any attention whatsoever, like actively disliked her. So she is, I think, she's in high school. So she must be 17 or 18. So like definitely questionable, but I'm just not gonna think about that. And her parents died like literally in her house when she was there. Like they offed themselves. So she's just like in a state of shock, I guess, because it's not like she loved her parents. So she kind of just wants to leave and get away from the publicity that's happening. And she gets a call from her uncle, who was her dad's stepbrother. Okay. And they were 10 years apart, never liked each other, never got along, very different lives. And like there's no blood relation whatsoever. So the uncle calls and is like, we were contacted by your attorney and I looks like I'm your next of kin, so you can come live with me and my 2 sons if you want. So she is like, I fucking guess, like I have nothing better to do and I can't live here alone. So she moves, and it's like this secluded cabin in the middle of fucking nowhere, you know, just like a very different life than what she's used to. From the beginning shows that he's gonna care about her because he can tell she's like really uncomfortable, and like turns around in the car and takes her to a candy shop that she pointed out. So it's just like immediately good vibes from him, even though I'm sure he's gonna bring her to Pound Town, but I don't care. I'm going into this knowing it's questionable and morally gray and like very not acceptable, but I don't care. So, but I'm excited to get into Pound Town area and I'll keep you updated on like what's going on. This one's my favorite. Oh. He said, what the fuck did you say? What the fuck? Literally, what the fuck was that? At least they made me laugh. There's a cat commercial. Come on. We were watching the moon, and the scene where Jacob like first turns into a werewolf, spoiler, and he starts fighting Paul, he lost it. It's okay. Okay, I'm on chapter 15. It's page 212. So it's only 44% of the way, but like a decent amount in. My only issues so far. So we met Jake, the uncle, obviously. He was very nice and caring, but like he's very overbearing and like kind of a shitty dad, but because he cares. And he's very obviously attracted to a 17-year-old. So like that's the questionable part. If she was like 20, even 19 I could 19 I could be okay with, but 17 is crazy. That is
That is illegal. If she'd just been 19, I could explain it away and be way more okay with it. But the 17 is crazy. Not that 19 isn't crazy too, because he's a grown man. He's 40. And they've already done some inappropriate things. He stopped it before it went too far, but like it definitely went too far. And like he didn't stop it because he was like, this is wrong. He stopped it because he was like, you're not okay right now, basically. So, and he made it known he doesn't want to stop it. So there's that. And then we meet Noah, who I'm obsessed with. I love Noah. I think he's adorable. He's supposed to be, I think, 20. So like way more acceptable to be into a 17-year-old. Then we have Caleb, who our first meeting, he basically assaults her sexually. That I didn't love. We could have gone any other route. Honestly, if she just hadn't said stop so many times, I would have been like, okay, whatever floats her boat. But she said stop like maybe 6 or 7 times and he never did. So like that's where I was like kind of cringing a little. And he only stopped because his brother walked in on them. So I was just like, that feels not okay, but like she's very much okay with it, I guess, and has no problem with it. And then the whole like he fucks a lot of girls and one girl came out with a bloody nose. Like I'm just like kind of scared of Caleb, and not in a sexy way. But Noah I love. Jake I love. He's just a little perverted. He's just a little pervert. She handles herself well, I guess, so I like it. I'm just struggling getting past the Caleb part mostly. I can get past Jake and him being into a 17-year-old. Caleb straight up assaulting her is kind of hard to get past. Like, they didn't have sex or anything. He was just, like, on her. But we're past it and we're at a decent part. And I think they're about to get snowed in pretty soon. So they're going to be snowed in, all 3 of them together for months. It's funny because they're like all knowingly into her. They all just look at each other and they're like, like, I don't like that the boys are all blood related. That grosses me out a little bit. Unless they're not, if I find out they're not, but I don't know. That grosses me out because I don't know if the smut scenes are she's just like individually hooking up with all these people, or if they at one point come together. Because if they at one point come together and do like a threesome, I'm gonna be very grossed out because they are brothers and that is their dad. So that's the only part I'm scared about. But if she's just individually fucking all of these men in this house, go for it, babe. Go for it. I have nothing to do today except hang out with these guys, so I'm just gonna keep reading. Wait, I had to tell you what it is. I have to tell you. Okay, see, Kayla, it's her birthday. It's her 18th birthday, which, kind of a big deal. Caleb doesn't talk, and obviously he's the son that I'm scared of, because he, like, assaulted her in the beginning. I just wish that one scene hadn't happened, because he seems nice. Like, he just made her a birthday present. Like, I want to like him, but that first scene was crazy work. Anyways, what I was laughing at was he made her a belt, and it's got like all these really pretty etchings on it of like the scenery and everything. And then she says that she notices the notches go all the way around. And she said, I'm flattered, but my waist isn't that small. And Noah whispered, but your wrists are. Gagged. I'm gagged. Wow. See, like, that's the part where I'm, like, confused because they're brothers. Caleb gave her that gift, and Noah said that. It's just, like, I just wish they weren't related. But that was good. Okay. He's tired of your licking. Yeah. What is your obsession with licking? Lick yourself. Don't lick me. I swear, don't lick me. No! Stop! Stop it. Okay, we're gonna be finishing Credence. I only have 2 chapters left, so I'm at the very end, like literally the last 15 pages. I honestly didn't feel like it was worth filming most of me reading it because, sorry Melody, close your ears for a second. I honestly haven't liked it. And the smut hasn't really been that crazy to me. Like I would say I was shocked, like the very first scene. Okay, I was shocked when the dad started something at the very beginning. Yes, that shocked me. And then I was shocked when the brothers did something together. So then it was like, after, nothing really shocked me, you know? I was just like, oh, we've already done it. So now she's just gonna keep doing it. Like, it didn't really shock me ever. The very first times did, yes. But then after that, it was just like, well, we've already been here, done that, so she's just gonna keep doing it. I honestly thought it was just gonna keep escalating, and I feel like it de-escalated throughout the book. And then she, like, weirdly fell in love, and I will discuss that later. The absurdity at that. But, I'm at the last bit, so I'm just gonna finish, and then we'll discuss. Book number 3 is done. Credence by Penelope Douglas. The infamous Credence. I think if the world didn't make me believe this was the craziest thing I will ever read, I wouldn't have had, like, such an image in my head of what it was gonna be. Because I honestly think, like, the craziest scene was, like, the first scene when, like, I mean, I wouldn't say, like, craziest, but, like, the most shocking was one of the first scenes that happened with the boys, and then the dad catches them and yells at them, and then he kind of takes over. And nothing even happened then. And that was the most shocking to me. So in my head, I was like, okay, well, if that shocked me that much, it's only gonna get crazier. And yes, there was one very crazy scene with the brothers. And by very crazy, I mean crazy because they're brothers. It wasn't... Pucking around has much crazier. So the smut itself wasn't anything ridiculous. It was just the fact that they were related. I don't know, it just, like, wasn't that insane to me. And the plot was ridiculous. Like, what was the plot? I think I'm gonna give it, like, a 3-star. Like, sure, I had a decent time. I was never, like, not enjoying it, but the whole time I was just like, okay, like, what are we doing here? Just the fact that, like, she has this initial thing with the dad, and in her head, that's the one. Like, she wants the dad. To each their own, go for it. But then the switch up to the son was crazy. She all of a sudden was, like, in love with the son, who doesn't speak. It was just so weird, like, the intensity of her relationship with the dad switched overnight, and then all of a sudden she was, like, all in with the son, and the thing with the dad, they act like it never happened. Like, that was shocking. I was just like, how is the dad gonna say the things he said and then just be like, it's fine? That was just weird. And poor Noah. I love Noah. I still love Noah. I still cannot get past the initial meeting with Caleb. That was too far. If that had never happened, I would have been rooting for Caleb way more, but that was just too far. It was literally sexual assault. And they even joked about it at the very end. So, I don't know. The plot was weird, sure, because there was basically incest. And, like, I've never read a book where a girl fucks the dad and then her 2 sons together. So, sure, in that sense, crazy. The smut itself, not that crazy, pretty tame. Not to sound dramatic, but, like, it wasn't that crazy. The familial aspect is what's crazy. Other than that, I just, like, it's okay. I'm glad I read it because I'm glad now I get it, because so many people talk about Credence, but, like, I will absolutely never think about that book again, probably. That was our 3rd of the 4 options she gave me. Technically, I only had to read 3, and my last one would be Things We Never Got Over, but this video is long, so I think to, like, avoid than having a 2-hour long video. I'm not gonna read this in this video. I think I'm just gonna pick the 3 that I read. I will try and read this at some point this month because I am still curious and I do want to read a Lucy Score book, but probably just not in this video because this is a honker. This is way longer than Credence, so I think that would be too much for this video. But overall, I had a good time. Where's my other book? So we read The Inmate first. Obviously, wasn't a huge fan. Did I enjoy my time? Sure. I hated the main character, but what did I give it, a 3? Either 2.5 or 3, I don't remember. And then we got Never, which is like one of my favorite reads of the year so far, so amazing, 4.5 stars. And I'm actually really glad that I read this, and I cannot wait for the second one. Cannot wait. And then Credence, who, you know. She was an okay time. I'm hoping that Melody's having a better time with my favorite books. I honestly don't know, Melody, if you picked this because it's one of your favorite books or because it was just crazy and you wanted to see my reactions. I honestly didn't have that many reactions. Like I said, I'm like trying to explain away me not recording myself, but I didn't have that many like shocked reactions other than the very first few sex scenes. Like those were about it. And then I was just like kind of expecting it the entire time. So I didn't have that many reactions. Hopefully this isn't one of your favorite books because I kind of just dogged it, but loved Never. So we at least got one success out of these 3. If you want to go see Melody's reactions and see her reading my favorite books, go to her channel. I will have it down below. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Maybe we'll do this again in the future when I don't know. I'm sure we'll do it again at some point because this was actually fun. I like being told what books to read, and it forces me to read books on my physical TBR that like I never would have picked up. I was not going to pick these books up for who knows how long, so I'm glad that it happened. I'm glad we did it. Go watch me in Melody's video and go watch her read some of my favorite books. But I love you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.